guys, welcome back to my channel. Got a few coming in. How's everyone going this week, and did you get your hair done? I've seen quite a few work in progresses. They're looking pretty good. We've got Christine Karron herself in chat today. Hi, thanks for joining us. I did post up the top there at the start that Christine has a new book, a grayscale and a line art version. The links are in the description. There will be an Amazon version. Christine helped me out here when that will be, but it's on its way as well. So very exciting. And I'm pretty certain I saw this image in there, so that's a good thing too. So if you happen to miss the actual live color along, at least you'll still have the opportunity to get the image. Also, you can get this image as a single copy on Etsy as well. Got some fans now. Hi guys, thanks for joining us. So I put the colors for the berries on the event page, and then I realized that we probably have time to do the leaves as well. So I've actually added the colors for the leaves after the fact, but I have listed them in the description here as well. So if you were here from the start waiting and you can't see them in the description, then just refresh the link and you should be able to see that there with the list. So there's only a couple of colors we'll be using, which is good. If you're using your own brand, I'm using kind of an olive set of colors for the leaves, and I've got a couple of different colors for the berries, which kind of look a little strange. But wait till you see how it comes out. Hi guys, still got people coming in. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. So I'm using Polychromos. I've got my little bits that I might use as well. Starting with my fluffy brush, just this nice soft fluffy brush. Some people use makeup brushes, it's up to you. Just something that's not going to smudge your image. I've got my white gel pen, my Caran D'Ache blender, which I've shoved inside the Derwent extender there, and I've got some washi tape on there because I hate how that section prickles your fingers. Yeah, because I'm really ultra sensitive now, just because it annoys me if I'm using it for long periods. Also, I've got my Mono Zero Tombow eraser. I've actually got this eraser in the square version as well. They're quite cute and they're really handy when it comes to these tiny little spaces. And I've got my white Prismacolor pencil there in case I need it later as well. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Got my my little deli manual sharpener as well. I think that's everything. So are we ready to start? Who's following along today, or are we just watching? So first of all, yes, I'll read the colors out now if you'd like. Somebody just asked about the colors. I'll do that first. Second, we will be doing week number 4, and we will be finished then, which is next week, and we're doing the same time next week. So it'll be Friday again at 9:30. I'm using Indanthrene Blue, which is number 247. I'm using Deep Scarlet Red, which is 219. I'm using Dark Cadmium Orange, and that's 115. And I can't read the silly number on this one. It's really hard to read. This is Burnt Siena 283. And if we do get to the leaves, which I'm pretty sure we will, we'll be using Chromium Green Opaque, which is 174. I've got Earth Green Yellowish, which is 168. And I have light green, which is 171. We've got a couple colouring along as we go. We're going to start with the blue. So I've got Indanthrene Blue. Indanthrene Blue. This is slightly different spelling to the Prismacolor one. It's Indanthrone Blue. So they are slightly different, but there you go. We're going to use the blue for the shadow areas of the berries. I couldn't decide whether to do red berries or blueberries. Because she's got purple hair, we really probably could have done anything in that range. Decided to go for kind of reddish orange berries. And I think they're going to look really good. So first of all, I'm going to use this pencil. I've sharpened it up nice and sharp. I'm not going to be doing a lot of layers in the berry, so I'm going to sort of be pushing down the tooth of the paper fairly soon because they're such little areas. There's not a lot of sort of layers that we will need to do. So with this blue, I'm going to go into the bottom of all of these little berries here. See the little crisscrossy parts at the bottom of each of the berries, and I'm going to actually put this in those areas. So I'm going to move in a little bit closer so you can see. Hi. Hi, Grace. Thanks for joining us. And thank you so much for your support. So guys, let's get started. I want to hopefully we get all the berries and the leaves done today, and then we'll finish the background and the little basket and also the outside frame done next week. So I'm just going to go in and do these little berries. So as I said, I'm just going to go in and mark out over the top of that dark area. Well, you can't see it. I'm just going to put some in. Just like that. Oh! Seriously, broke my pencil again. Popping a little bit in the bottom of that one. So that's it. That's all we're going to do with the blue. So I'm just going to go around and do all of the berries with the blue. So guys, if you're new, we are doing this follow along or color along. We're doing this event in my group. The group links are in the description. Also, the event links are in there as well. And all of Christine Karen's beautiful images and links and things are in the description there as well. So social media. So check those out. Just crossing in at the bottom here of all of the berries. Move up to the top ones here. So it's really cold and wet and raining here today. And it's also school holidays here in Victoria, so I have my children home this week, which doesn't give me a lot of time to do recording. Or colouring for that matter. So where there wasn't any, I've just marked them in. Okay. I think I need to get some of that royalty-free music going for us next time. On the to-do list. Just marking little stars. You could use, if you didn't have blue, you could use green for something like this as well. Something that'll come through the red a little bit for you and it'll put a bit of shadow in there. I like to use red and green together quite often. Can we see that, or am I off camera? I'll just go back down. It's hard when it's zoomed in so much. So this week I've been playing with my Pablos and got some really nice stuff coming out next week. All right, so that didn't take as long as I thought, but anyway, we're going to move on and do the Deep Scarlet Red. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going, actually, you know what? Scratch that. Let's do a light layer of the orange first. I'm actually going to use the orange all over. I'm going to do a light layer first and just mark those in, and then we'll come back into those shadow areas with that darker color. I might put some little white spots on the berries later on in those really highlighted sections, but I'm going to go over the orange with that anyway. So just going in with fairly light pressure at the moment. And I'm just going to fill those in. Trying to hold my pencil on an angle so you guys can see past my pencil. So this one here is really quite dark, so we're not going to be able to see a lot of the orange in that one. All right. Someone just said, yay, Pablos. I'm a bit slow today, sorry. Yeah, Pablos, I've done some extremely realistic hair on the next image. I'm going to be using slightly grayscale images for those tutorials when they come out too. So just continuing on with our grayscale theme for a bit. I really like the Pablos. They've been really good. I love the pastel colors. They're so bright. Moving on to the top ones. Also got myself some Strathmore Bristol paper. Bristol, something like that, to give it a try because somebody said that was good. Give that a go this week sometime. If you're new and just come in, we're using the Nina Classic Crest. Well, I'm using the Nina Classic Crest paper. It's quite soft. It's fairly smooth. Not a lot of work going in to push down the paper or burnish the paper off. Going to the top ones. Just adjusted the brightness a little bit there so you can see that a bit better. Okay. Gosh, it's really pouring down here today. I think that's why Shadow's not visited us yet. I think she's curled up nicely in a ball in the in my bed, most likely, actually, just thinking about it. Probably snuck in when I've got up and hogged all the warmth. Oh, sunny on the other side of the city. Well, it ain't here. It's pitch black and pouring with rain. All right, nearly done. Oh, we must be getting your yucky weather now then. Anyone else in Victoria here today, or are we from US, UK, other parts of Australia, New Zealand, all over the world? US is hot. Illinois, isn't it normally cold in Illinois? Grace just asked about Pablos. Pablos are wax-based pencils. They're not like Prismas, but similar to Prismas. That's really hard to explain, but they're firmer than Prismacolor pencils. They're closer to the Polychromos, but obviously they're wax, not oil. You don't get as much dust as you do with the Prismas either. Okay, now, you know what? I've forgotten a whole bunch of berries right here in the basket. So I'm going to go back to my blue because I like to do it in color order if I can. Sometimes that's not always the case, and I'm just going to go in and put in the blue first, and those little stars. Some of them I'm not going to put it in because their berries are up the other way. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to do the orange. Queensland. What's the weather like in Queensland? Probably warm and sunny. USA, another one, quite warm. Oh, I like thunderstorms. Just kind of scribbling over the top of these because they're all so close together, and I'm just filling in the color over the top for now. Went to Queensland about a year ago on a cruise, right before I started doing YouTube tutorials, actually. Jumped on a P&O cruise in Brisbane, and off we went for a few days. It was really nice. All right, I've got my red now. Back to the red. Deep Scarlet Red. Florida, hot. All right. Now what I'm going to do is on the berries, you can see, I think I'm close as I can go. So you can see that there's a color difference between those really light areas and where I've done the blue. We're going to go in and fill out the shadow areas with the red. I'm going to use medium pressure. A fair bit of the tooth's going to be pushed down. I'm just going to firmly go over those little lines that have been placed in as well. Obviously, these darker ones are going to be mainly red. Going over the top of the blue now. The blue is going to still stand out and be nice and dark. Oh, we've got another one who's got hot weather. It's a bit surreal imagining being hot when it's so cold here. When I say so cold, it's not absolutely freezing. We don't have snow or anything like that. Actually, where I am, we don't get snow. Okay. You can see that color starting to fill in now. What we're going to do is, now that we've done that red, we're going to go back over with that orange and we're going to put firmer pressure and just flatten out the tooth of all of that now. So I'll go around and finish off this red. I'm just doing firm on those creases. And just medium pressure in those shadow areas. All right. Jackie's gone. Alrighty, almost done this little part here. Move down. My little board that I'm leaning on is not big enough to lay it flat. Some of these ones down here are darker, so making sure that I fill up most of those with red. Kind of looks blurry. Nope. Doesn't help either. It's still better. All right. So if you've just come in again, I'm just reminding everyone that Christine's new books are out on Etsy. The digital versions are. The other hardcover or hard copy is going to be available on Amazon soon. And I did it again. Broke my pencil, wrong angle. Nice layers built up there. Fairies in the basket. Ooh, someone's got some goodies in the mail. I love packages. All right. Now, some of these ones, just need to move my position. I'm going to turn that on an angle just so the paper can sit flatly there. Just going into the darker areas in the basket here and popping this in over the blue as well. That looks good. Moving up to the top. Almost finished the berries. Probably good I posted up the colours for the leaves. All right. Birthday, happy birthday, Loretta. Okay. Alrighty, let's go back to that orange. So the dark cadmium orange 115, and we're going to put firm pressure in now and just fill out the tooth of the paper in all of the berries. Just like that. So you can still see the red and the blue where there's dark, light, medium now. Nice and soft. If you feel that after you've done this, you need to come back in with the red and just deepen up some of the shadows, you can do that as well. I'm just using circular motions just so that it doesn't look like I've scribbled all over it too. So after doing this much of the grayscale image, those of you that haven't done grayscale before, does it feel as scary now that you've done as much as you have? And will you go back and do more? Yeah, I've coloured over the highlight areas as well. I'm going to go in with the white gel pen and just put a small amount of highlight on each of those ones that have got the bright highlights. I'm using that highlight area to make that orange colour stand out more. Got a bit of dust. Just zoom out a little bit because sometimes when you see in perspective, that's how she's going to look. Now, one of two things. I could use my white Prismacolor and go into the really light areas and put a little bit of this in, but I want it to stand out a little bit. So I'm going to use the white gel pen, and I will just put some little highlight areas. And what's going to happen is the oil color is going to come through the white a little bit, so it's actually going to soften off the longer that it's left there. So just like that. I'll move in slightly, and you can see they look like little shiny berries. Okay, I'm going to continue on with that orange. Out from the top there, move back in. How are you watching me, Miss Alicia Jobson? It's my daughter there. I thought it was on her way out. She must be watching on the train. All right, other side. I'll go in and put the white specks in at the end. Oh, I've missed a berry there. And just on the bottom. Still got new ones coming. Hi, thanks for coming in. So guys, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Also click on the little bell if you want notifications when I upload new videos, and leave a comment. And like this one too if you've enjoyed this video. I think I confused everybody this week by changing the day of the video. The previous 2 weeks I was doing it the day before, as I had plans on the other day, so hopefully we get a few more watching for next week. Moving across to the berries in the basket. Okay, now you're embarrassing me. Thank you. Almost done. They didn't take too long, did they? Being a little bit rougher down here because they're all sort of joined together. Trying to keep the circular motion though, because you'll be able to see the lines if you don't look like you've scribbled over it. If you feel that you need to go back into those shadows and deepen up some of the red, you can by all means do that. I'm going to do that in a couple of these ones down here because they're really quite dark. think that's pretty good. Now I've got my white gel pen. Got some dust first. I'm going to go in and mark those areas out that are... Oh, thanks, guys. Just glad that I can share it with some of you. Shiny. There's only a couple in here that I might do. And the very top there. And up the top again. I'm not doing it on every single berry either. I'm just sort of doing it where some of those shinier sections or the brighter orange color was. And once that's dried off a bit, the color will change a bit with bringing that orange in a little bit as well. Just going to zoom back out for you so you can see that bit. Berries are done. Let's move on to the leaves because we've only got 20 minutes. I'm going to be quite rough with the leaves. So I've got the first color I picked was the Chromium Green Opaque. That's a really long name, but that's the pencil I'm using. I'm going to zoom back in so you can see. I'll start on, actually, do you think that maybe I should do the twigs? Yeah, we'll do them later. Let's do the leaves first. So I've got that Chrome Green Opaque. Oh, which leaf should I start on? Let's start down the bottom here. I'm going to go into the middle using firm pressure. And I'm going to flick out over the top of those grey lines. And all of them. Oh, goodness me. Okay, how many is that today? 2 already? 3 already. That's the third one I've broken. I think it's because I'm holding it on a funny angle, but just going to line out those areas first on all of the leaves. So quite roughly marking those out. I'm not being very neat or worrying about going over the lines. As we can see, there's some lines through there. This is just going to help put some depth into the middle of the leaves. And it gives it a little bit of detail too, so it makes it more interesting to look at. I might have to sharpen that pencil again. It really buttoned off really quick because I... Moving across. Take your time. You can always rewatch the video. Pam just asked about putting, what do we do with our finished images? I have a very, very thick folder full of images. That's what I do with them. Because I do so many. I'm having trouble with the angle of the camera here. Bear with me. Bumpy, bumpy. Don't look if you get car sick. This is the left side of the page now, doing the leaves. Oh, why did I sharpen it? It just broke again. I think it's because it's cold. My hands are very unsteady today, so maybe I'm gripping that pencil a little bit too tight. I've given away a couple of my images and also my own watercolor that I've done myself. Given away. But a lot of the ones I do for tutorials are only A4, A5 size. So I've just stuck them all in a folder. Hang up the top here. I'm really not having much luck with that paper over here. I'm going to be putting some aqua color that we've used in the eyes in the background. So I wanted these leaves to stand apart from the background color that we're going to put in. So doing the olive green seems to go nicely with red and orange. So that's why I've picked these colors. Also too, purple and yellow are really good together. So having the orange in those berries helps with a little bit of yellow through there too. I don't know why your berries are redder than mine. Almost done with lining those out. Top ones. Okay. So just talking about grayscale and line art, these things that I'm doing now on the grayscale can be done on line art as well. So you're not limited to doing one or the other, but I've done that part now. I'm going in to use the Earth Green Yellowish, another really long name, 168. I'll start down the bottom here where I was first. What I'm going to do is in these, so it is probably hard to see there on the camera. Let me see if I can lighten it slightly. Didn't help at all. Just in the leaves, there's darker areas in some of the leaves, like a shadowed area. What I'm going to do is go over the top of that with this color, and most of the leaf's going to be filled out with this color. The very light sections I'm leaving for the lightest color, which is light green. But I'm just going to go in medium this time. I'm not doing firm pressure now. So this one shouldn't break. So just going over those darker areas. I'm kind of doing it in the direction that the leaves are going, so from the middle out. Trying to cover over all of the grey, so the darker grey areas. I said I shouldn't break it, but I just did. Now, I'm actually wondering if it is because the pencils are cold. Because I don't normally break that many. I'm not sure what you mean by it looks finished already. Do you mean like it's been coloured in black and white? I think that's what you're meaning. Is that what you mean? Oh, there you go. Someone else had their tips of their pencils break in the cold. Yeah, it's never usually that bad. So obviously they're chilled today. Okay, so I've done that. Off camera again. Hang on, I might just zoom out a little bit. You don't need to be as close now. So I'm just doing medium pressure and I'm going over those grayer areas and leaving the lighter highlight areas for that light color. Some of these on the top here are only one side of them has that darker grey. So the other side of the leaf is going to look a lot lighter with the light green over the top. So these ones here are a lot lighter than the ones underneath. Still putting a little bit over the top of those middle sections that we did and just over those really dark grey areas. All right, and I'm coming back in with that light green now, and I'm just going to flatten off the rest of the tooth. So I'm going to go over the top of all of that. Trying to be careful not to break my pencil. This green's nice and bright too. So we've nearly finished now. We've just got the basket and the background to finish off, which probably won't take us too long next week, and just making sure that all of our highlights and things like that are nice and bright, going over anything that we need to go over or where we feel that the shadows and things might need more color or depth. It's very exciting when you get to that point where it's finished. I know a lot of you have been trying to hold out for the 4 weeks. It's hard not finishing it all at once. So I'll pop up the colors for next week, hopefully the day before. I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday for today's video. I was pretty busy. I went and had a haircut. Kids all had haircuts. It was great. And did some much needed shopping and things. So I did actually not get a chance to post it up. But next week I'll try and post them up the day before. And also the links I'll pop up the day before as well. Looking good. I'll just zoom out so you can see that section. Nice and bright. Coming back over to this side. So with your graphite images, you've never actually made them up or made it a color image? Trying to keep directional angles too on them, because on this paper you can see lines if you've gone sort of scribbled over it. So I'm trying to keep them in the same direction as the leaves are going as well. Back up the top. Now I've got some brown, the sienna brown, to come in and do the twigs with, and then we'll be finished. All right. Almost done. Yay. The side. All right. So guys, almost finished. Don't forget, if you've just come in today and you've only seen this one as the first one, the other links for the previous videos are in the description. If you want to come and join the event, the link's in the description as well. You'll have to join the group and make sure you answer the questions. And you can join the event. I'm just going to zoom out, and I'm going to do the Burnt Siena, another one that's spelt differently to the Prismacolors. This is 283. I'm going to go into the branch parts, and I'm going to lay this down in the darker areas fairly firmly. Zoom in, and then lighten it up towards those lighter sections there as well. Dark on the bottom, and then I've just lightened it up. I'm going to come back in with my full blender in those lighter areas just to flatten off the tooth if I need to. I'm probably not going to need to though. I think it's quite nice how it is. Darker in those shadow areas, and then just lightening the pressure off. It looks like we've got two different colors, but we haven't. We're using the same pencil. Just grabbing all of those lines. I'm going to save the border section for a different color, a lighter, brighter color later on. Then across the other side here. Nope, I missed a light colored leaf there. I'm just going to fill that out. Some of those leaves had little sort of sections coming off out into the leaf as well, so I've done those with the brown. And the last little section at the top here. Just a tiny bit of leaf there. So I'll scan this one up and pop it in the group so you can see it. Just zoom back out again. We're going to use that sienna in the basket, and I've also got some golden colors that I'm going to use as well. But that is it. And guess what? I finished on time today. How is that? You do use a lot less pencils. Oh, look, I've missed one. Hang on. Let's go in and do that one right in the middle. You do use a lot less colors, I feel, doing grayscale, definitely. Because the gray is acting as a dark color underneath for those. For example, even with this brown that I'm using now, using it with dark pressure on those darker areas with that gray behind it's making it quite dark, but just lightening it up a little bit over the lighter areas has made it a completely different color without swapping pencils. Here we go. Done and done. So guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you like the video, leave a normal comment outside of the chat if you can, and make sure that you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Vero, all of the above. If you want to join the group, make sure that you do answer those questions. There's only 3 questions, just to sort of make sure that you know that there's some rules and things like that within the group. And also Christine Karron has a group as well, so I've popped that in the description below too, so if you want to pop over and check that out. They do little events every week as well, different challenges and things, which is really exciting and a bit of fun as well. So guys, if you have any questions, I'm just going to wait for a second and see if anything pops up. Looking good. If you haven't, if you're in my group, the image was available, so you'll need to actually message me through the group to get that if you would like that. Once the color along is finished, so after next week's video, the image will no longer be available in the group either. You will need to purchase it. So this image is available on Etsy to purchase as an individual image, or you can purchase her book. It is in the book as well. So send me a message through the group, guys. Okay, all done. Looking good. Very excited. Almost finished. Probably could have finished it off today if we had an extra half hour, but I'm going to head off and get some more tutorials done for next week. So guys, thanks so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And thank you again for watching. Bye, guys.